Troglodyte warning. Today I'm going to continue my series on right-wing grifters, and Russell Brand is in the firing line today. So Russell Brand used to be a leftist, now he's a right-wing grifter. He's making money on Rumble, selling multivitamins, and since COVID broke his brain, he's been spending too much time with Jordan Peterson, sexual assault allegations, and he's realised he can make a lot of money, get a lot of clicks by just selling conspiracy theory nonsense about Pfizer, about autistic vaccines, and he's truly lost his mind. So let's get straight into the video.
Immature, insensitive, inappropriate oaf that he's always been.
Here's The View saying that Donald Trump caused these fires somehow through racism.
Because he says...
Okay, let's see if this actually happens, because he uses clips out of context. This is why I like to do the full video, so you get the full context. Let's see what they actually say.
It was unbelievable. I thought it was fake news. He said that California's woke politics and DEI are the reasons for the fires.
Okay, so Donald Trump is actually saying DEI, woke politics are the reasons for the fire. Based on nothing, no evidence, just his feeling. He's been watching Fox News. His brain is completely cooked.
Because Newsom has been tearing down dams because Native Americans, but he called them Indians, wanted some of the river back so they could catch salmon.
Because actually, look, he's called them Indians, and that's the issue now.
So he completely deflects off the point, says one thing, they don't actually say it, and then he just moves on to another point. Insane. His brain is literally fried.
The same game. They're doing the same game of focusing on semantics and vocabulary rather than policy and infrastructure. The fact is, Well,
you can do both because they're interlinked. How a policy is affected and how we perceive it will be based on the language and the semantics. It does matter. Specific words literally create our world and our universe. So language does matter, Russell.
we want from government is management and bureaucracy. That's it. Don't get ideology from them.
I'm sorry, that's inevitable. And we've got neoliberal ideology. We've got capitalist ideology that individualizes problems, privatizes all the problems. So actually, yeah, we do have that. But he won't talk about that because now he's on the right and he likes it. He likes big business, apart from big pharma, somehow. And he is part of that kind of right-wing grift where you can criticize everybody and judge them, as we'll get on into a minute, but not actually tackle the real issues.
Don't get ideology from them. Get ideology from the divine. By the divine, I mean an ulterior and holy force that you yourself can access.
But how would that help wildfires? How would that help wildfires? What divine ideology would help getting the funding and resources to California to tackle some of the worst wildfires ever? Pointless.
How curious it is that the word divine means of God, but also as an active and transitive verb, divine means to look for and find. Moment to moment, you can find the sublime. You can find it in this moment, this moment, this moment, if you wanted to. It's available to you. Do not allow human power, governmental power, corrupt power, commercial power to become a kind of lightning rod for your attention.
That's ironic because he has advertisements, 2 advertisements in this video. Rumble, which I'm covering with my little face, and multivitamins. So he has been literally captured by advertisers himself in the attention economy. So what is he talking about? He is part of this. He is making content that gets millions of views, often sensationalist. I mean, look at his thumbnails, look at the content. It's always so like shocking and kind of clickbaity. I get it, he's playing the game, but he is part of the attention economy.
Note now we live in the days where your attention is what they wanted to control. During agriculture, our species and kind achieved mastery of the land and then allowed it to become industrialized. During the Industrial Revolution, we achieved mastery over matter, but then allowed that to become so extreme and exploitative that we forgot that there was a realm beyond the material. And now in this technological age, it's attention itself that is being mined. Yours and mine, controlled and directed and primed.
But what's this got to do with what they're talking about? It's completely, I mean, to an extent, I agree with him. It is true the attention economy is probably one of the most manipulative and captured by Facebook, YouTube. I agree. But what has this got to do with what they're talking about?
Being alert to this phenomena by recognizing that in this moment you can find God. There is a route to God for you. And if you make that connection, then you won't be able to be manipulated by their corrupt forces and powers. That's
Well, I would say religion is potentially one of the most dominant and dogmatic manipulators. It literally was kind of co-opted to control people. Marx famously called religion the opiate of the masses. And it does. It's a dogmatic way of thinking where you defer thinking to the divine. It's a faith. You're taking literally a leap of faith in this religion that it is real. And it's completely irrational, essentially. It's not based on evidence. It's not based on empirics. It's based on a belief.
just what I think, though. Why don't you let me know what you think in...
I love that. Just that kind of crazy, insane. But what would you think about that? I mean, it's complete tangent. He is cooked. His brain is fried. What is he actually saying? He's not really saying anything. I get it. He's religious now, and that's fine. I believe in religious freedom, but he's not really talking about what they're talking about. Like, we need to take these wildfires seriously. Elon Musk stopped a kind of funding bill that would fund FEMA and tragedies like this. So the money isn't there. And this is going to cost hundreds of billions of dollars. And he doesn't want to talk about it. He's just talking about like words and the divine. It doesn't mean anything.
the comments and the chat.
And Gavin didn't just knock down one dam for the Indians. He knocked them all down. He knocked down 4 of the dams. I'm sorry, this is stolen land, first of all, okay? California is stolen land.
California's stolen land. Stolen. Land's been stolen. Isn't that everything, though? I mean, like...
It is, but again, it wasn't that long ago. We're talking about a few hundred years ago, and he doesn't want to take that seriously, like the treatment of the natives. Again, does he want to have a conversation about that? Again, I think it is naive to say, I mean, they're not having it back now, and Americans, 330 million Americans live in America, but it kind of, he's frustrating.
Where would any land not be included within that ultimately? Like, who of us can make claim other than a scriptural and biblical claim to be custodians and stewards of land?
Why a biblical claim, though? See, this is where I don't get it. Like, he's saying that, yeah, I agree to an extent, like, all land's been stolen. Who owns land? Again, can someone have ownership of land? I don't believe so. So, but for biblical claims, so he's talking about Israel here, like, biblical claims, it's fine. No one can own land, but biblical claims, yes. Claims 2,000 years ago in a book, what? That doesn't make sense at all. Like, I would argue the natives have more of a entitlement to the land than someone 2,000 years ago because it's more recent history. I think when you talk about more recent history, like with Palestine, we're talking about under 100 years ago. So I think immediate history is a way to look at it. Like, if someone like Ukraine being invaded by Russia, I think you can talk about how that's just not right, like morally. But he doesn't want to talk about that. He wants to just make vague references to the Bible. Oh, in the Bible, it's fine. Biblical references to stolen land are fine.
Lovingly and respectively cultivate, honour and revere it, to use it, but only in symbiosis with it.
Second of all, that's part of what always happens. These dams, there's preservation of the dam. So that was just complete, not only misinformation, but it was racist. And I think we need to also call stuff like that out.
They're absolutely exhausted on The View, mustn't they? They must be shattered of doing this every single day. On the legacy media, I feel for them and I pray for them. All legacy media outlets having to sort of like, how do we keep this going? How do we keep this?
He's saying this as an advertisement for his multivitamins is on the bottom. What? What? Oh my God.
Absolute nonsense going now when it's over, when we're sort of living in its echoes, in its dream.
Yeah, racism is over, ladies and gentlemen. Racism is, don't talk about it. It's fine. There's no racism in America, especially with the natives. They're fine. They've been treated well. They've had their, all the contracts and agreements over the last 400 years have been fine. They've been treated well. It's fine.
Dregs and its residue. How do we continue to try to vivify these dead lies when it is finished, when it is over, when the...
What lies? Again, vague gesturing. That's all they ever do. Like, Jordan Peterson, I mean, he has been spending way too much time with Jordan Peterson. He's learnt from the best. Just vaguely gesture. What lies? Be specific. Lies about racism? Lies about the treatment of the natives? And, there's plenty of initiatives, plenty of activism, land back in America who actually seek to improve the lives of the native population, which they have been screwed over.
The awakening is already happening. And if you think I'm referring to simply MAGA Maha, then you don't understand how much I aspire for change for all of us individually, how much I pray for all of us to receive the bread that we require, how much I recognize I have no right judging you, how I recognize that...
I love that. The Christian, I'm not judging you, while simultaneously judging. It's a beautiful thing where you can be like, thou shalt not judge, but it's a kind of implicit, yeah, I'm going to judge you on your lifestyle. And like, they can't talk about this. I mean, they're talking about treatment of natives, but he doesn't want to talk about that. He just wants to say, whatever he's saying. I have no idea what he's saying. Essentially, he's just saying stuff.
That ultimately we are all one family on our knees before him, that none of us has superiority over one another, and that's why government and power and hierarchies and pantheons are so ludicrous and ridiculous. And how I recognize too that we must always find our way to love, because truth is too hard without love, but love is too soft without truth.
Look, I think what the...
But what's that got to do with anything we're talking about? Great, I'm a big fan of love, but how is this relevant to what we're talking about? Wildfires, treatment of natives in America, and Donald Trump. Well, it's not, is it? Because he can't, again, structurally, because he's a right-wing grifter now, he actually can't take these issues seriously. He can't take, these are naive liberals. I agree. They are. But at least kind of try and engage with it in good faith. But he can't, because he just says, oh, they're talking about racism. So now that's like, oh no, racism is over. Because that's essentially what he said. Like, it's over.
This has shown us is for people who thought that Donald Trump has changed, he has not changed, okay? No. He is the same immature, insensitive, inappropriate oaf that he's always been.
True.
Even those squares either side of her head don't seem to agree with her.
Again, he can't engage with that. He can't engage with Donald Trump's behavior. 26 accusations of sexual misconduct and sexual assault. His numerous lying. He's 34-time felon, 91 crimes. Friends of Epstein. Complete liar, pathological liar, malignant narcissist. Just a horrible person. Jeffrey Epstein said Donald Trump would not do anything good, but by accident. And this is coming from Jeffrey Epstein, one of the most notorious child molesters in history. So he can't talk about it. Again, they never actually talk about, like, why can't he criticize Trump? Well, we know why, because he loves him.
What he should be doing right now is putting out tweets saying, I thank the heroic first responders. I thank the countries of Canada and Mexico and all the others who've helped. I thank the surrounding states that have sent help. I have talked to Governor Newsom. I have talked to Mayor Bass. I have told them that my administration in 7 days will be ready to supply everything and anything that California needs. Californians, my thoughts are with you. Those are the things you have to say.
It's funny, like
Trump would never say that. He's not the kind of person just to thank someone. He's such a bitter, kind of vengeful person. Like, he would never give credit. He's constantly massaging himself how great he is. If somehow he was to help them, he'd be like, oh, I helped them. I give the funding. I was there. I was fighting fires with the prisoners. No, he's not that person to thank anybody for anything.
Everyone wants to be in control of the world. In her mind, she was being Donald Trump then. This is what Donald Trump should do. This. First.
See, he just can't even engage with it. Like, the fact he should have been saying that. Like, he's criticized, like, he's going to take over Canada, criticizing Mexico, and they come and help California. They come and help, do the right thing. And Donald Trump can't say that. He can't be like, oh, actually, yeah. He will never backtrack on anything, Donald Trump. He's so, like, I don't know what, prideful. But again, Brand can't talk about it. He can't actually talk about it. He's just like, has to do with, it's so frustrating.
Put a square either side of your head and hang it to your ears. That's the first thing before we do anything else.
Again, ad hominem attacks. Like, he can't actually talk about what she's saying about Trump. Like, why can't he? Like, not even any criticism. Like, you'd say, like, oh, criticize him a little bit and say, like, yeah, Donald Trump, he's divisive. He's a controversial figure. He can't even go there.
Then make this exact speech. None of us are capable of being in control of reality if we are still governed by an inner mural of perpetually revolving desire within ourselves. 1 minute I want this, the next minute I want that, the next minute I'm scared of this, next minute I'm scared of that. If I'm just on that carousel, I'm no use to anybody. Unless I'm connected to something sublime and divine, I can't.
God, he must be so exhausting to live with. If he's just having a conversation about shopping, like, oh, can you just go and get some bread and milk? And then he just starts going on about this. Like, can we have a normal conversation, Russell?
Can't be a vessel for anything really worth saying, but you won't get that kind of introspection on The View.
If you need
Introspection, deferring belief and your thoughts to a higher being. That's not introspection. Introspection is the opposite, where you actually go inside yourself. You're not kind of searching for an answer outside yourself. You're going actually introspection on your own actions and your own beliefs, why you do things, not kind of like, oh, God said this is good, so I do it. God said, I'm forgiven for my sins, like Russell Brand, assumes he is.
help in figuring it out, go look at everything that Joe Biden has said for the last 4 years after a natural disaster.
I have actually looked at quite a lot of things that Joe Biden said for the last 4 years, and it includes bits like like waking himself up with his.
God, he used to be such a good comedian. That's such low-hanging fruit. Yeah, okay, we get it. Joe Biden is really old. Great. I mean, haha, funny. But this guy used to be a great comedian. He used to have insight. He used to have self-reflection, introspection. Now he's completely. How do you go from that, but like actually observations about the world, a funny guy, to just being this person just like says nothing and just defers anything to like, oh, it's the divine. Like, great, but what are we talking about in terms of solutions here? Like, he wants to talk about policy. He's not even spoke about policy yet.
His own farts. Listen, the neoliberal establishment has taken a hit when it comes to American democracy or republicanism. There is a new movement that's about to take government in a matter of days, but there are further changes yet to take place, and we're seeing that all across the world. The fires of California are tragic. Their impact on human life, on architecture, on nature, on human beings is devastating. All we are discussing here is the degree to which it could be better managed. The degree.
You're not talking about that, though. You're not talking about policies and what Trump is actually going to do, and that bill that Elon Musk quashed, and he's the shadow government. He's in control. We're not talking about that because you can't talk about it, because when you do, you actually go, actually, Trump isn't going to be good for these wildfires. He doesn't believe in climate change. He's not going to take it seriously, and it's only going to get worse because climate change, I'm sorry, is real. I don't care about your beliefs, Russell. It's real.
Degree to which it's a result of mismanagement of the people charged with care of municipal matters. More deeply than that, I wonder if we are being.
Actually, it's more Republicans just stopping votes on increasing the finance for FEMA. That's what it is. The Republicans don't want to help people. That's what it is. But again, he won't talk about that.
Shown as the world crumbles and burns that some new thing is coming, some new awakening, some new revival. That doesn't mean to say that it's a moral judgment on the particular individuals affected, just by saying that there are kind of laws of righteousness rolling on through.
Of course not, Russell. You're not judging anybody, are you?
Reality. It's just pointing out that there's a lot of layers to what we experience and perceive. In the same way right now, if your cat is looking at you, it doesn't understand why you're staring at your phone or a laptop screen. There's information being exchanged right here, right now. Do you think that's the last level of it? You don't think there are...
There's not, though, is there? He's not given us anything, really. What does he give us tangible analysis? He's not give us any information, really.
Saints and various choirs receiving celestial tunes right now to which we are not attuned to receive? Why, of course there are. Anyway, that's just why I think. Why don't you let me know what you think in the comments and chat. If you're watching this anywhere other than Rumble Premium, become a Rumble Premium member. Remember, YouTube ultimately will censor your content, and we have a primary relationship with Rumble Premium, which really works rather well for us. Subscribe.
I bet it does, Russell. I bet you're doing very well off it.
To that here. Thank you very much for watching. You need Bioactive Complete Multivitamin for Men. Look at you. You're tired. You're exhausted. I'm a woman. Mind your own business. This is a fantastic new product. Bioactive
Is sexism coming through there?
Complete Multivitamin for Men. I chose it because, like most people, I wasn't confident I was getting all the vitamins and minerals I need from my diet. Since I've started taking them, I've noticed I've got more energy throughout the day. Look at me now. I'm energetic. Do you know it's actually midnight? My overall health feels much more balanced. It's been a game changer.
Oh, that's so hilarious. Hit the like button, and I'll see you in the next video.